Hey guys, it's Brad. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm filming a very highly anticipated video where you guys want to know how to take your avos in water and plant them in soil. These look so cool. So if you want to learn how to do this, then keep on watching. So the items that you're gonna need is gonna be a pot of your choice, preferably with a drainage hole. It's just a lot easier with a drainage hole. You'll also need some premium potting mix, and I like to mix through some fast draining soil. So I've got some cacti and succulent mix. The fast draining mix is pretty self-explanatory, but it just helps with airflow and getting that drainage out, which is what the avos love. And of course, you're gonna need your avo in water. Now, I'm using 2 today. You obviously don't have to do that as well. And the pot I'm using isn't the deepest, so I have found 2 of my avocados that have pretty shallow root systems, and they're gonna go in the pot together. They're gonna be siblings, best friends, sisters. And lastly, some gardening tools to make your life easier. I, of course, wanted to take the harder route, and I did not use gardening tools. I used these bad boys. And made a complete mess. Right, so for the first step, you're gonna wanna grab your pot and start putting some of that premium potting mix in there. Now, I'm in no way, shape or form a professional, but this is the way that I always do it, and I've done this many, many times, and it works perfectly well for me. But I like to do about a 50-50 ratio of the premium potting mix and the fast draining mix, and I just kind of mix this in as I'm going. Now, if you are a little bit more organized than me, you can pre-mix this with a 50-50 ratio in a tub, a lot cleaner, and then kind of add it in at one time, but you know, I like to do things the hard way. So I generally stop when I get to about 3/4 of the way full. This is just so when you're digging your little hole for your little baby avo roots, that you're not spilling over soil everywhere. And I probably shouldn't have done it on the kitchen bench, but you know what? Sue me. So once you've dug your little hole for your little avo roots to sit in, you're gonna wanna then use the soil from the other side to kind of scoop it up. 2 birds, 1 stone, making the second hole for that little avo baby, but also building up your first avo. So now it's time for the second avo baby. Of course, like I said, I'm doing 2, you don't have to do 2, but it kind of looks cool. So once the second hole is dug, you then put the second avo in, and then use that excess soil that you have to kind of pat it up, pat it around. Obviously, you don't want to go too high, or else there will be too much soil in there. When you water, it's going to be a bit of a kerfuffle. You don't want that. I generally pat down the soil to a degree. You don't want to put a lot of weight on there, because then it kind of gets a bit too dense. You obviously want to condense it a little bit, but make sure you're not shoving down really hard. And once you're in that final resting place, you can then give it a little clean up. Make sure that the soil is even. Make sure you wipe your bench down if you are like me and doing it on the kitchen bench. And then that's basically it, you're done. I personally shopped around to find a pot that could fit 2, because I just think it looks so cool. Once you have finished planting them, you are gonna wanna water them just to get it all settled. I did this about a week ago and it's already growing, which is amazing. But these were not around when it was in water, so it must be pretty happy in here. It's because it's got a best friend. Do you reckon they're best friends or siblings? Oh, what if they're enemies? T. So when it comes to watering these guys, make sure you do not overwater them. I know they've just come from water, so it's a bit ironic, but you need to make sure you're not overwatering or they will die. They will die. So a good rule of thumb or a good rule of knuckle is to just stick your finger in the soil, and if it's still damp, it ain't ready. No, but seriously, it is really easy to overwater these guys. Well, any plant for that matter. So make sure that the soil is dry. It does depend on what season it is. So if it is summer, the soil will dry out a lot quicker. If it's winter, the soil will take a lot longer to dry out. So it's about a 2-week window I like to use. But yeah, just make sure before you water it, you give the soil a little feel. But if it's still damp, maybe wait a little bit longer. I do also just want to add that these guys can stay in water forever, so do not feel pressured to plant them from water into the soil. If you don't want to, you don't have to. The only thing is they will be stunted a little bit in water. They obviously won't grow to their full potential. There isn't really nutrients in the water, so that's why I like to plant some of them, but I just love how they look in water, so I generally actually like to keep them in water. So just remember, the choice is yours. Do not give in to the peer pressure of this video, even though, am I pressuring you? Don't feel pressured, do use. I am a complete and utter mess. Like I said, don't feel pressured to. On a side note, these are my new products, which are launching very soon on my website, so make sure you go and check that out. They are pretty cool. They're like a little flat balloon shape, and they have this little holder for the pip, which is awesome. Anyway guys, that's it from me. I hope you found this video informative. And if you do plant some, make sure you come over to Instagram, send me a DM. I wanna see those Avo babies in soil and in water because we know we love them in water. But that's it from me. Make sure you subscribe if you want to, but I highly suggest it because it's pretty cool to subscribe, you know. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.